Alright, yo guys, what's up? It's your boy, the Geeky Gangster here coming guys today with another video. And guys, in today's video, I am officially announcing my retirement from Grand Theft Auto Online, Grand Theft Auto 5. In the months leading up to the release of GTA 6, I realized that I wanted to give my character what I thought would be a good and proper retirement. I've spent over, $1,000 with this character over the span of a decade, and he has really become a part of my life. I spent over half of my life owning this game and grinding this game out from time to time. Not, every single day in between that period, but like I said, a lot of my life has been in this game. As for, many other people across the earth, when this game came out over a decade ago, a lot of us don't remember time before this game. For me, I'm 24 now. I was, I believe, 11 years old when this game came out. So, yeah, 13 years. So over half of my entire life. And all of my teenage years, all of my adult years, all of my functioning, developmental stages of my life, everything I've been through, my first girlfriend, my first job, the struggles of my life, traveling. This game, this online world, was always a place to go back to. It was always a constant for me throughout all of the different video games I enjoyed playing throughout these years. Call of Duty, Rainbow Six Siege, the sports simulators, every game on Game Pass, well over, I've logged into about 800 games, give or take. Just, spamming Game Pass and all of that. But I remember the day I was in GameStop, and because for the first, little while after this game released, like I said, I was 11 years old at the time, and my mom would not let me play this game. And so for the first couple of years, actually, I was not allowed to play this game at all. And I remember one day, I had my own money because, I had like Christmas money and stuff, and I was at GameStop, and I said, I really want GTA, but I know you're not gonna let me get it, jokingly. And my mom said, you know what, if that's what you want, you can get it. I was like, wait, what? What? And I was so happy and so stoked and so shocked in that moment. Little child me, like when your parents finally let you have something that you weren't allowed to have for years and years and years. I think every child knows that experience, and for me, Grand Theft Auto was one of those things because I knew I didn't have access to it, and I knew my peers did. And I heard, YouTubers talking about it all of the time. I heard, people at school talking about it. So for me, it was a big deal, and I was extraordinarily excited to pick this game up from GameStop and bring it home, and then testing it out. And I remember like my first steps in Grand Theft Auto Online. I remember, the days where I found out that stealing a car, if you put the tracker on it at Los Santos Customs, you can get a quote-unquote free car. And I thought that was really cool because I didn't have any money for a car. And I remember, every time you drove past a gas station or, the convenience store, you had to rob it because $2,000 was way too much money to pass up back then. And, you had to rob every single gas station on the map for the achievement or whatever. I remember doing that. I remember being so excited the first time I realized that there's a helicopter on the roof of the hospital by the strip club. And so after you got to the hospital, you could climb up and you could have a free helicopter. And it could fly for free. And that was really what introduced me to flying in GTA. And I remember grinding to the point of getting my first high-end apartment. And all of a sudden, heists were unlocked. You know, you could do the prison break and you could do all of the other heists that were involved in that. And I remember grinding those out with my school friends at the time, Blake, Luke, Daniel, etc. And we would, hop on GTA a lot, almost, I would say, not nightly, but, several times a month for sure. So created a lot of my bonding memories were in those heists. And, years and years and years went by, and I remember getting the submarine for the first time, learning the Cayo Perico heist, being so frustrated that I couldn't do it at first. I had no clue how to escape the Cayo Perico island. Because I was trying, I would try to make it all the way back to the airstrip without like snacks or anything. I didn't know about like spamming snacks or whatever. I wasn't like a professional grinder at that point in my life. But I remember figuring it out and saving up for my first yacht, my first super yacht. Actually, I don't know if I purchased the yacht or the submarine first, but I purchased the $8 million yacht. And I was super excited about that. I purchased the highest end apartment in the game at the time, which was a $1 million apartment. And I thought that I was rich, and then I made it for purchasing the $1 million apartment. And I posted the tour on YouTube to celebrate, and it got like 200 views. I remember going to the casino for the first time and playing the low limit blackjack tables with my friends and thinking, those were some of the best times in the game. And then eventually I myself bought the casino penthouse so I could unlock the high limit tables and gamble $50,000 a hand. And then you guys probably saw in like all of my videos for the past couple of years, they started in the casino penthouse. I always spawned there. I always did the daily wheel. And for a long time, GTA for me was just playing blackjack and earning money to play more blackjack, which sounds kind of insane, but for whatever reason, that's just what it turned into for me. It was a gambling game. I became a very successful businessman in this game, and I employed hundreds and hundreds of, over 100 employees. And I put food on all of their tables, and I feel very proud about that. I started with the motorcycle club, and then cocaine, weed, money, and then the CEO office, the vehicle warehouse, the cargo warehouse, and again the submarine, the yacht, the hangar, the arcade, the nightclub, along with a couple of others that I'm forgetting off the top of my head. But I owned a lot of businesses, and I brought in a lot of revenue for Los Santos. I really, I tried to be a good influence on the economy. I never wanted to be a corrupt leader. I never wanted to be a mean boss. I never wanted to harm my community. I only ever wanted to build up my community. And I think I really managed to do that to the best of my ability. I think when it came to Cayo Perico, I was always really nice to Pavel, my assistant. Any of my assistants, my CEO, office assistant, I was always really nice to him. I would ask him how his day was going. And so I really did try to do my best to be a good leader and not a bad one. I know oftentimes when you talk about financial success and owning a bunch of businesses, it can very easily lead to corruption. Um, of course, it's easier for a camel to pass through the needle in the haystack than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of God, the kingdom of heaven. And I became a very rich man in this game, so may the Lord have mercy upon my character. Also, that gets me to my thank yous. I did want to just say thank you to God for allowing me to be born in such a time of great entertainment, to where we have video games, we have GTA, we have online parties, but we also have the movie theater, and we have streaming services, and we also have millions and millions and millions of books. Compared to 100 years ago or so, books were very limited. Well, maybe not 100 years, but like a couple 100 years for sure. Books were just starting to become mass produced, and the radio wasn't around yet back then. So, I am very, very thankful that the Lord allowed me to be born in 2002, a great year. My entire life has focused around significant technological developments, and entertainment developments as well, to where now, I mean, it's just inconceivable that GTA 6 is going to cost more than the tallest skyscraper on Earth, the Burj Khalifa, I believe it's called. GTA 6 is actually a greater human achievement than that, as far as cost go, and as far as the development process goes, which is just so absurd to think about. I wanted to say thank you. As much hate as they get, and as much as I've criticized them, especially recently, with all of the nerfs, and apparent greed, and nobody's perfect. And like I said, businessmen, it's especially hard to be perfect. But I am thankful for the Hauser brothers, for the creators of Rockstar, for the creators of Grand Theft Auto, for all of the writers, for all of the creative and artistic talents, to all of the voice actors, and to all the people who don't get thanked, like the janitors at the Rockstar, headquarters, people who are keeping the place clean, people who make everything else possible, all of their wives at home, their supportive families. I'm just thankful for every single soul who has come together and made such a human achievement possible. And it's weird to call GTA a human achievement. Many people would laugh and scoff at that, but like I said, it's a bigger deal to the economy than the tallest skyscraper on Earth. More money was put into it, and in my opinion, probably more. Well, I don't want to say labor, but more money was put into it. So it stands as the biggest investment in human history, GTA 6. And GTA 5 and 6 stand as two of the top 3 best-selling video games of all time. So yeah, it definitely is a human achievement, and lots and lots and lots of people worked to make that happen and to make every single update in this game happen. We've had hundreds of updates, maybe even thousands of like minor weekly updates throughout the past decade. But like well over 100 major updates, which is just absolutely insane. How much blood, sweat, and tears were dumped into this behemoth of a game. I wanted to say thank you to every single person who ever grinded this game with me. Even if that was merely just somebody I bumped into in the lobby and they got into my car or got into my helicopter and we went and did something together, which there's hundreds of people like that, you know, they helped me gain financially. They helped me gain RP to level up. They helped, you know, and I helped them as well, of course. But so many, you know, relationships I'm just so thankful for, and long-term friendships that this game has created for me. I would say I made probably like 20 to 25 long-term Xbox friends on this game, which might, you know, I've never been a super public person, so maybe for you that's a little bit less, maybe it's a little bit more. I don't know. I'm just guesstimating over the years. I've ran into some very amazing people in this game. And like I said, I've, you know, played this game with in real life friends like most people have. So I'm just thankful for all of those memories and for all the time I got to spend with other players. I'm thankful to my parents for allowing me to get this game in GameStop, and being supportive of me, and of course, you know, I'm thankful to my parents for many different things. I don't want to really throw that into a joke video about GTA, retiring in GTA. I mean, it's not a joke. I really am retiring in GTA, but you know what I mean. It's not something to, you know. I'm being a little bit too facetious, perhaps, a little bit too deep here for a video game retirement. But like I said, I mean, 13 years in the making. About 10 or 11 for me personally joining out this game. Thousands of hours dumped into this game. So it is, I think, actually deeper than people are actually probably willing to give it credit for me, you know, because I think we all have grown attached to our online characters, and you know, it's going to be weird not seeing him in the future, or her, whether you play with a male or a female. If you've had the same character for a decade, and through, you know, half of your life, every single step that you've gone through during that half, all of your teenage, developmental, adult years so far, you know, you've always come back home and you've seen a character, and you're actually like in control of that character and how they live and how they earn money and what they do, and it's completely unlimited and you have complete freedom to do whatever you want, and you have complete control almost over interactions. You have, you know, with all of that, it is, you know, you do grow attached to that character, whether you want to admit that or not. What else do we want? So that brings me sort of to my retirement, and as you guys are seeing, I bought myself a, you know, I always believed that my character was deserving of the best in his life. And that's what led me to buy the $1 million apartment at first. That's what led me to buy the super yacht, so he could be one of the people in the lobby that owned a yacht. And that's what led me to buy the, we are going to be retiring in the most expensive house to have ever existed in GTA history at a whopping $12.8 million just for the base, not even including an extra $4 million for the art studio and several extra millions for the arcade and for the other upgrades as well. So it goes into the 20 millions of dollars, you know, and we will make, of course, during my retirement, I'm going to upgrade my house, renovate my mansion, you know, in my off time while I'm retired. Since I'm not doing anything else, you might as well make renovations to the mansion, you know, like adding those things, changing the artwork around. I just bought the Calico cat for $15,000. I didn't know that you could buy a cat. It's pretty cool that they let you do that. And yeah, what I guess what I mean by retirement is like I'm still going to log into the game, but just like a normal retirement, you know, you're still alive. It's not like you just die when you become retired, but it's like the grind stops. It's like I have enough now. It's like I've achieved the things I wanted to achieve. And this is the point where that happened for me. And so it's sort of time to hang the gloves up. But I'm still associated with the gloves. You know, like Michael Jordan is still associated with basketball, even though he stopped playing basketball, 2 decades ago. So I'll still be associated with this game and with my businesses and with all my employees and everything else involved in the whole ordeal of things. I'll still go to the casino. I want to buy the Oppressor MK2. I still haven't bought one of those. I've made it all the way to retirement without one of those, which is some people might consider impressive. Of course, I had the Sparrow to help me along. It's not that I want to buy anything to grief other players, but just for my own personal enjoyment. Of course, you might have to mess with the occasional guy or two. Show them who's boss. But it's not, I don't have any evil intentions like most people who buy the Oppressor MK2. I'm just done grinding this game as much, I think. Well, yeah. I might pick up a small door greeter job at Walmart in my retirement, or whatever the equivalent to that in Los Santos would be. Do some things for old time's sakes. And yeah, just enjoy my wealth, enjoy the luxuries of my life, of my character's life, enjoy everything I've worked for all these years, and sit back and relax and enjoy the views of Los Santos. And man, there's so many views of Los Santos to be enjoyed day and night. When you're talking about the mountains, when you're talking about going out into the desert, when you're talking about the ocean, when you're talking about the yacht, when you're talking about deep diving and the submarine moon vehicle, when you're talking about going to the casino, when you're talking about going to the airport, when you're talking, there's just so much to see and do. And I'm going to try to see as much as possible and do as much as possible before GTA 6 comes out. And the repetitive grind comes to an end today. I'm a retired man. So yeah, I appreciate you guys for watching all of my GTA 5 videos. And I might make a couple more about my retirement if I find anything fun to do. But other than that, I'm just going to, relax and wait until the new adventure starts with GTA 6 Online. And I think that's about it. Everything I wanted to share with you guys. Of course, I wanted to give you the tour of my mansion. I didn't really want to explain anything because I didn't want to get distracted if I was doing a live stream explaining stuff. I didn't want to, forget things, get distracted, get sidetracked, get messed with, whatever. Or have, there's lots of things to avoid with that. But I wanted to show you guys what the mansion looked like, and I tried to go into every single room in this video. I tried to do everything that you can do. There's 2 different pools and a hot tub you can go into. You can get tattoos, you can get your hair cut, eyebrows done. You can buy a cat. If you buy the art studio, of course, there's a new heist just for you. Oh, what I forgot to do, bro, I forgot to fast travel So buying the mansion unlocks fast traveling to any other business that you own. So you just automatically pop up in your warehouses or whatever you want to go, which does save, a lot of time if you're already in your mansion. Um, which that is pretty cool. You might be thinking like the mansion is far away from other things, so it's inconvenient. But the AI in the mansion that comes free with the mansion um, allows you to fast travel anywhere you want. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, I think that's about all I wanted to say. So I appreciate you guys watching my retirement speech, my retirement video. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Now for you. Maybe I serve you one too many. See you soon.